नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका अपने पसंदीदा प्रोग्राम फ्रॉम द रियल टू द वर्चुअल, जहां हम आपकी मुलाकात कराते हैं किसी एक खास मेहमान के साथ। तो आज हमारे साथ हैं श्री प्रमोद अग्रवाल। वेलकम टू इंडियाज फर्स्ट मेटावर्स।
नमस्कार जी।
Brought to you by WoWExp, and the founder is Naveen Manasvi from IIT Kanpur. Pramod Agarwal ji has been for 28 plus years at Procter Gamble, and he's now on the governing body of P&G, one of the most reputed brands in India. Welcome to India's first Metaverse. बहुत स्वागत है आपका सर. I'd like you to share with us your journey of mapping various geographies, India, US, Singapore. You've been everywhere, and formerly also the CFO of P&G. How do you look at the journey so far?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me in this program. And this is a very exciting field of Metaverse. I'm truly excited to be part of it in whatever way. And firstly, wish you good luck in this new invention that you are coming out with. Actually, my journey of CFO started when I was in grade 6. I had a passion, I had somehow dreamt about being the CFO of a company. And that time I didn't know what it would take. All I knew that the commerce stream is important because you have to be an accountant in those days. And this I'm talking about in the year like probably 1972 or something like that. And so I was a good student of science, but I decided to choose commerce when I was in 9th grade, and my principal was not very happy about it. She said, "You're a good student of science. Why are you going in the field where mostly the failed students go?" I said, "No, I do want to become a CFO, and I think commerce is the right stream for me." And she said, "Well, if you are so clear, then good luck to you." And that's how my journey started. And ever since I've worked on it. I tried to do CA, started CA, and then I got admission into IIM Ahmedabad in 1981. And then I opted for that. And then, of course, in November 1987, I joined P&G. Actually, today is the day when I joined P&G 35 years ago.
Congratulations that you're shooting on the right day.
Absolutely. And so my plot to manage the career was very simple, whatever job that comes my way, I will take it as long as my children get good education and I get vegetarian food to eat. So I was very mobile all over the world. And I used to say just very simple thing. People will talk about what is your career expectation, etc., etc. I would say, well, just these two things, like my kids should have good education and I should get vegetarian food, because without good food, I cannot survive. So that's how it happened. And my first breakthrough was becoming the CFO of Thailand business. That business was going through some rough phase. Employee turnover was 45%. So my boss picked me up and he said, "I want you to go and fix it." And I was there for 2.5 years, managed this whole employee turnover from 45% to 5%. And then the economic crisis happened of 97, which I thankfully predicted to save millions of dollars for the company. And then got me promoted to director. And then I went to Japan for a couple of years to manage Asia controller role. And then I went to Philippines to set up the Manila Service Center, which is a greenfield site, which was another very challenging job. And then company sent me to US because to get to the next level, you had to go to US and spend some time. And then company brought me as a CFO for Asia in Singapore. And then I became CFO for global haircare based out of Switzerland. So interesting journey, a lot of great experiences, a lot of challenges. But my core philosophy has always been, you have to think breakthrough. You take baby steps, it doesn't get you anywhere. So if the business is growing 5%, what does it take to grow 20%? Just like your metaverse. How do you step change the technology so people talk about it? That was my philosophy. Then what does it take to deliver breakthrough results? And then second piece was busting barriers. Whatever comes in the way has to go if it comes in the way of me delivering the results. And the third piece would be organization, because people are the core of delivering anything. So I used to have one simple contract with my employees who would work for me, that I will give you excellent career, you deliver business results for me. And that simple contract used to do wonders for me.
Absolutely. But if I ask you in PNG, there's so many verticals in PNG.
Yes.
And the pandemic saw a drop for most companies.
Yeah.
But that did not happen with your company.
Yes.
You were very fortunate.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of invest in innovation during that time?
Yeah. So PNG external world thinks about PNG as a company that is very, very strong in marketing, which it is. But actually, our company is more a R&D company, because we invest billions of dollars in R&D every year, regardless of whether there is pandemic or no pandemic. Because the company's philosophy is very simple, that we have to offer the very best product to the consumer. There is no compromise on this. If our products hurt the consumer in whatever way, then they will not launch the product. Our products have got to be number one or strong number two in the marketplace, because it's a number one or strong number two who makes money in the marketplace. It's not the third, fourth, and fifth person, right? So the company believes that, if you want to enter, you should have a game plan to be number one or a strong number two player. Otherwise, don't enter the market. And to be a number one or a strong number two, you have to have the very best technology, very best product. And that's what company does, to invest billions and billions of dollars in R&D. We have a great R&D center in Singapore, we have a great R&D center in Cincinnati and many other locations. And we work on that. Like I was working on hair, I was a CFO for global hair care. When I took over as a CFO, guess what's the first place I visited for my orientation? Not to talk to my accountants, but to go to the R&D center. What's the innovation for the next 3 to 5 years, which will keep my brands like Pantene or Head and Shoulders or Herbal Essences ahead of the game? Or in some markets, if they are not winning, then why are they not winning? What are we lacking in? So how can we fix it? So that's ingrained into our system, that you have to invest in the brand, in the technology, to make sure that you beat the hell out of competition.
Absolutely. You have to raise the bar in technology. You mentioned R&D. But on the other hand, you find brands in the marketing space who only deal with brand communication and yet they succeed.
Yes.
So what is that kind of success? There is a mismatch sometimes about... There is a mismatch sometimes about brand communication and delivery. Execution. Yeah.
Yes and no. In case of PNG, I can tell you that if the product is not winning versus consumers, and typically our products have to win in the blind test. So the consumer does not know which brand they're trying. And if they say that my Pantene is a better product, then you can communicate. You can have a whole advertising strategy, social media, on the television, on the print and everything. But if your product is not winning in the marketplace, then a company like PNG, which has been around for 180 years, wouldn't be there. So if you have to build to last, then you have to invest in the technology, make sure that what you promise in the advertising, you deliver to the consumers. And then the consumers will reward you with the leading market share. And then, of course, the profit comes in. So it goes hand in hand. So our diapers, they make sure the baby is dry. And why is the baby dry? Because it converts what baby does into gel. So it doesn't come up. So the baby's butt remains completely dry, and that protects the baby from rashes and stuff like that. So that's a technology. Now, once that technology is developed, then you figure out how to market it, how to communicate this in simple words. The hair care, our hair, it's a whole lot of science involved in it. The hair needs protein as much as your body needs the protein. And for hair to be healthy, and you can see my hair, like I'm a 60-year-old, 60 plus, my hair it's full because I've been using Pantene for the last 30 years. And because it's nourished by Pantene, by protein. And the protein is so important. But we have to communicate to the consumer in a very simple way. But in the R&D lab, it's a high tech. What goes through the technology, how it is coated, every single hair is coated and stuff like that.
Do you have different products for different countries? Like for China, the Pantene would be perhaps different. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
Come out with a few examples.
Yeah. No, we see the core of the product is the same. Okay, the products, sometimes the formulation may change simply because the local conditions are different. So, for example, like when we were launching Ariel way back in 1990, so there were parts of India where the water is hard. So you need a different formulation for that part of the country.
Villages,
yeah, but not necessarily village. But I think it's eastern India where the water is harder. So if you use the same product, same chemicals, it may not be as effective. So you have to tailor make the product to suit the requirement. So now Caucasian hair, for example, is much thinner, lighter hair. So you have to have a different formulation on Pantene for Caucasian hair versus Indian hair, which tends to be thicker. So that's the difference. Or like, for example, in Japan now we have a golden hair age, right? A lot of people are 60 plus. So we had to formulate a product which is right for a 60 plus, because that's the bulk of the population and you have to look after them. So, and they have deep pockets because they have already earned their money, they have saved the money, they are spending money in golf. So why not spend money on having good hair? So then we invest in the technology to make sure their hair is taken care of by Pantene or Head and Shoulders.
What about products that are now going to come up as far as P&G is concerned? What is your future vision?
Well, that's a constant stream of things since I've been out for 6 years, and plus anyway, this is a future stream we don't know. But what we know is what you have today will be a lot better 10 years from now and 20 years from now, depending on how consumers react to it and what consumers really want. I mean, I'll give you one product which I'm super excited about is SK2. You know, that product, it's a cream, it's an expensive cream, it costs $180, $190. But that bottle lasts for 3-4 months. So if on an average, every day you're spending 50 cents on yourself. But it makes you look 10 years younger. It drops your age by 10 years because your skin becomes so translucent. It is not a fairness cream. It just makes your skin glow. And that's my favorite product. That's the latest $1 billion ad to our portfolio. It's a beautiful product.
Tell us about what is good today for India or for any other country, product-wise, may not be good 20 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
And also about where are the hiccups in supply points to increase efficiency. Let's say we look at India.
Yeah.
What about rural India?
Mm-hmm.
Are they not kind of entitled to these products?
Absolutely. No, I think you've hit the nail on the head, you know. See, one thing which, when I was living in US, I mean, I would find the same boutique stores in a small city of 5,000 people. Like my son went to Dartmouth College, and it's a town of probably 15 or 20,000 people. And you can get all the boutique products over there that you will get in New York. May not be that big a store, but the store size may be small, but still you will get that luxury. So there is no reason why our farmers, who by the way are quite rich actually, they make a decent amount of money. There is no reason why our product should not reach. So as P&G, you know, we constantly go for rural drives where we make the products available for all our consumers. Now, this is like within certain constraints, you know, because you cannot reach the last mile of the last village of the last kind of a shanty. But we try to reach as far as possible. We try to increase our distribution. In fact, some of our products are most widely distributed in the FMCG industry. But I would see like, and I think the current government has done a phenomenal job in building the infrastructure. I remember when I used to come back from US in early 2000, that it would take me 12 hours to reach Kanpur from Delhi. Now it just takes me 6.5 hours. That 5 hours, that's a saving. I can spend that much quality time. So there is no reason why this cannot be extended to the rural cities as well, where you can actually reach. And if the mode of transport becomes efficient, I mean, we as company have all the reason to reach our consumers directly, because we can communicate with them, we can explain to them. This way we have to do drives, you know. So I've been to some of the villages in Chennai like 200 kilometers from Chennai, where you go from mohalla to mohalla, to sell the product or to demonstrate how Tide is better than other products or how Ariel is better than other products. But this can be done on a systematic basis, that where our people can reach, they can go there, come back. Today, that is probably not possible. So I think infrastructure is going to be very key. If you ask me what is going to make or break India, I think it will make India great, is the whole infrastructure investment that the current government is putting a whole lot of emphasis. People don't realize the power of very, very strong infrastructure. Why China is where it is because of very, very good infrastructure. I mean, you can reach from point A to point B in no time. You don't even have to think, you just pick up the car and go. And when the roads are good, your automobile industry is good, then people are building good houses and stuff like that. So it just creates a virtuous cycle of growth. And I can tell you that real estate and automobiles, these are the two largest employers in the country, anywhere in the world. So if these two sectors do well,
the rest is in automobile.
The rest comes, because you look at this room. How many industries are captured here? There are n number of industries captured. Same thing, automobile. I worked for Premier Automobiles in my first job, and there are some like 3,000, 4,000 components, thousands of suppliers who supply this. So when automobile industry does well, it is not just the Tata Motors or Maruti. It is a whole host of ancillary, the whole ecosystem that does well. So that is how I see India, So 10 years, 20 years from now, I mean, I think we are talking about, I won't be surprised if India becomes the number 2 economy in the world, simply because we have the power of 1.3 billion people. And the middle income is rising. I remember in 1990s when I used to write the launch recommendation for Ariel and Whisper, we used to think about like 50 million people may be able to afford our products because they were priced. But we didn't want to compromise on quality, so we had to price up. So it's like only 50 million people probably would be best who can afford. But today that number is close to 600, 700 million. And there is no reason in 10 years' time this number will be over 1 billion. So when you have 1 billion consumers looking for your product, the miracle is going to happen.
And if I may ask you, which is your favorite product? I know it's a difficult thing to ask, but nevertheless, whether it is a toothpaste, whether it is a shampoo, whether it is Gillette, in P&G, which is the product that is the highest, seller, that wow product?
We love all of them because they're all wow products. I have retired from P&G for 6 years. I still use P&G products day in, day out, unless and until it is not available in India. That's the only reason. And I mean, you're like from top to bottom, your P&G takes care of you. But you ask for what is the best product? I think our Pampers is probably the best, because you want your baby to sleep well. And I think Pamper really, really helps baby get that rest. Then the baby is healthy, baby is smiling. Can you imagine your little child? I'm a grandfather now. When I see my granddaughter smile, because she had it just makes your day, Then you instantly get energy to kind of do all kinds of things, My other product is SK2, because it really makes you young. You should try that product. It drops your age by 10 years.
Thank you so much. We're going to take you into the exciting world of Metaverse, where you'll be able to see your set and you'll be able to see the wonders that you can do on P&G with the Metaverse technology. That is definitely the future of India and globally. But one last question, Mr. Agarwal, if you'd like to tell us, are you trying to even guide and coach people? You've been an excellent CFO. There is no two about that. But are you willing to mentor a few people so that they could also do wonders for their own companies?
Yeah, absolutely. This is not just like to do, this is our mandatory responsibility. Okay. That is the culture I have grown up with, that you have to grow your people. Like I do well only if my people do well. I can be super successful in business, but if I'm a failure in organization, then I failed and the company will kick me out. Okay. So this is ingrained in my blood, and And I think the government has come out with good skill programs and stuff like that. Absolutely. I mentor a lot of people. They just randomly, people call me up through LinkedIn or whatever. Can I spend some time? And it's a delight to interact with them. Partly because they're Gen Z. So their mindset is very different. So, and I'm like probably Gen A or whatever, I don't know. So, but it's a delight to just get to know what's going in their head, you know. So I do a lot of mentoring, but I would love to do a lot more. I'm going to take over as a president. I'm a president-elect for Delhi Rotary Club of Delhi South, and this year I'm playing the role of a vocational director, which is primarily responsible for mentoring and coaching of the people. So we are collaborating with one of the agencies to how do we bring this whole mentoring bit for 2,000 to 3,000 students from the underprivileged section, and how we can help them out. And we would like every single Rotary member to actually take on that responsibility. Yeah. So like even if they sponsor 2 or 3 or 4 people, I mean, we can make 3,000 students, and if we have 500 Rotary members, we can actually take on more than that, you know. So it's absolutely, it's there in my blood. So I would love to do that.
And on that note, I'd like to thank you for joining us and for this very interesting conversation today.
Joining me now on India's first Metaverse is the former CFO of P&G, currently on the board of Procter Gamble, one of the best companies of the world. Thank you so much, Mr. Agarwal, for joining us on India's first Metaverse. If you can see towards your left, you have the WoWmeet, of course, and you have your pictures here. So how do you like the set, Mr. Agarwal?
Well, I'm super excited.
So this is the next step, in the world of Meta, where you have WoWmeets, where you have your product art galleries show up, and should you want to pick up an object, for instance, in your case, it could be a toothpaste or the Pantene shampoo, the consumer can pick it up right from here, from these kind of art galleries that have been curated and created by WoWExp. We're the first in the world to have done this. Pick it up and the product is delivered at their homes. So what do you think, how do you think the ROI of any company would benefit from this?
No, I think this is going to be a major breakthrough technology for companies, because I can clearly see that we can actually deliver outstanding training programs to our employees. P&G or any other company should invest a whole lot of time on training their people. And unfortunately today what happens, people spend 2 days traveling and 2 days of training. But using this technology, they can cut down the training time by 2 days. So your productivity actually goes up. The participants can join the training program and go back to work without any disruption. I can see this, the companies can have the board meetings, but the biggest thing that I see here is that I can create a shopping aisle for my customers who can actually see the product real life. And then as a company person, I can see how the shopper goes around selecting the product, and then what goes in their mind before selecting the product, what they look for. Is it the packaging? Are they smelling the product? Or are they reading, what is written about the product description and stuff like that? So I think this is a huge opportunity. I mean, forget about the ROI. This will be a huge breakthrough. And if we can execute, and if Metaverse companies can, or WoW can get the right apps, this could be the next big breakthrough after, call it social marketing and digital marketing.
Absolutely. Like you have Zoom conferences where you just see each other and on a screen. Here what you can do is you can enter any 50 people and make them seated, and they can have that real experience of writing on a board or using a pen and maybe writing over this WoWmeet. There is any kind of notes that can be done here. So this is a bigger, better version of Zoom. Think Zoom, now think WoWmeet. It's something like that. On that note, I'd like to ask you, Mr. Agarwal, what about the carbon footprints? What about sustainability? what is your idea of P&G using less water in their products? What is the kind of water management that you're thinking about? Because you have products like Ariel and Tide, right?
Yes, absolutely. No, I think the sustainability is front and center for P&G because we want to leave the world in a better position versus when we took over. Okay, so that's the whole mantra as far as P&G is concerned. So everything that we do, whether it is Ariel or Tide, we constantly innovate how we can use less water, how we can use less energy. So like in US, I know for sure that we have cold water, the product which works brilliantly in under cold water. You know, like US temperatures can go down to like minus 5 degree or minus 10 degrees. So washing your clothes in warm water consumes huge amount of energy. So we have a product which works in cold water conditions, and that is a significant saving for the consumers because they don't have to use heated water. Similar thing is being done, on every single brand. For example, shampoos, what technology do we adopt to make sure that the consumers are using less water to rinse off all that is there on the hair and still get the same, shiny hair. So that is very much integrated into the system. And then, of course, if your metaverse comes in, this is also going to help us in sustainability, because if people are traveling less, that means less oil being used, less fumes being thrown in the system, and then of course you improve your sustainability scores.
Absolutely. Which are the two favorite products you'd like displayed here? For instance, you mentioned something on anti-aging.
Yes. Well, anti-aging, I don't know, like the person looks young. I don't know how it will help sustainability, but probably this person will be super excited to do more things, and then hopefully when the person is happy, then they do look better. They do take better care of the system and the environment, right? So the happiness is front and center for any project that you do. So that's how I see the benefit of anti-aging. But I don't know whether it will use less water. I'm not a scientist. I'm a finance guy. So I'm not heard of story on that front. Sorry about that.
Absolutely. Anything else you'd like to add as far as innovation goes for Procter Gamble or any of the products?
Yeah, no, actually, I just want to narrate a simple story, like way back in early 90s, or probably it was mid 90s. I had attended an interview with Hutchison, that was the first time the mobile was coming up. And I had gone to interview for the CFO, and he asked me, like, how many mobile sets do you think we can sell? I said, maybe 1 million, or few, maybe 5 million. Who would have thought that like 20 years from then, like we will be talking about billions of mobile sets. And I think your metaverse technology, today, maybe there is not there. I know some of the companies like Facebook and all, they are investing heavily. But this looks like the future. As I've experienced this for the last 10 minutes, I mean, I see a massive breakthrough similar to what mobile was in 1995. And if this takes off, I think you will make major inroads in the business model, how we talk to the consumers, how we reach the consumers, how my bankers talk to me, how investment managers sell their product. Today they have to come and visit my place. They don't have to visit. They don't have to travel from Noida to Gurgaon, spend 2-3 hours. They can, sitting from the desk, they can talk to me in the real kind of a situation. So I'm super excited about this whole metaverse, and thank you very much for making me part of this journey. I'm really, really excited about it.
Absolutely. And as you said, this is a pivot from the mobile to the meta space, which the entire India and in fact the entire globe will see in the years to come. More success to you and more success to your endeavors. On that note, I thank you from WoWExp team and from our founder Naveen Manasvi for joining us for this very, very interesting conversation. Good luck to you in all your endeavors.
Thank you very much, and good luck to you guys.
Many thanks for watching. आप देखते रहिए हर हफ्ते अपना फेवरेट प्रोग्राम WoWExp on India's first metaverse.